got in the water real quick and started scrapping off rip.
Yeah, the question is, how is Peru going to adjust in this moment? There's also more pressure on Peru than there ever has been. There's pressure on Zeta as well. Neither of these teams ever in this position in a grand finals at the World Championships. And Japan has so much hope for Zeta. Japan winning Worlds last year, coming back to try to do it again. We had North America win 2 years in a row. Can Japan do it now and win 2 years in a row?
Well, we're about to find out, as we have just found out we are on screen. Cape Theatrics, whoosh, as we get into game 2.
Yeah, here we go, heading into our draft of game number 2. Zeta Division banning out the Hoopa, Buzzwole. Onto the other side, same bans. We've got Zarina and Comfey. They will not allow this Pokemon into this match.
So many high-octane tools. Suicune, Ho-Oh, which we didn't even see last game, available to come out. Latios, which has kind of been a polarizing Pokemon in this tournament. And look at this. We already see the texture changing here as Blissey and Leafeon are snatched up by Peru immediately.
So they know that they're going to give away Suicune. There's nothing they can do about it. They have to ban the Pokemon that they are trying to target here from Zeta. But now, instead of banning Leafeon, instead of banning Blissey, that was such a problem for them in game number 1, they're just going to take them and play them themselves.
Yep, which means Charizard goes back the other way. Clefable as well, which is a Pokemon that you talk about getting a recent glow up, got buffed a little bit, and now its healing is, as we mentioned, unparalleled.
Here we go.
Ooh, Armarouge, nice.
Picking up the Armarouge. This is a Pokemon that's seen a lot of play in the last few tournaments, right? Regionals, it feels like it's gotten a lot of play. And of course, this weekend, Crustle, a Pokemon that has done very well this weekend. That Unite move is unbelievable. Has some recent buffs that have made it really tanky and difficult to deal with in some of these big fights.
If you can trap a couple players with a Rock Tomb and have everybody collapse on top of the Pokemon that are trapped, those are guaranteed knockouts, and it doesn't matter how much healing Clefable can crank out, you can get those Pokemon ripped apart.
Here we go, Rom on Mewtwo wide, no surprise there.
It
absolutely devastating in game 1.
It looked great.
And Tomy picking up the Blastoise. This is one of those picks that does go late in a lot of our drafts, and we have a few teams out of Japan that have been playing this very, very well. Final pick over to Peru, and I would be shocked if they end up grabbing the Ho. They could play it in more of a carry role, but no, instead they are going to pick up that Zacian.
Yeah, and it gives them good amount of secure as well with that big Unite move that Zacian has. So they're kind of checking all the boxes here. If they get in a squirrely position late, they can still go for a Rayquaza secure, hopefully before the rest of the team is knocked out this time, and get themselves a win. We've seen Blastoise really hit high highs and low lows. And Tomy, if they're on one, they're going to need that here now. Another scaling Pokemon for them.
Here we go as we're getting ready to head into our next game. Our team's moving around their Pokemon picks, putting their held items on so that they can counter their opponents and play the exact strategy that they want. Everyone here in Anaheim, let's hear it for your favorite team. Let's hear it for Zeta Division. All right, they like Zeta.
They like Zeta. Give me a little something for Peru. Okay.
Ooh, bit of a pop. Bit of a pop for Peru as we get ready for game number 2. And Peru on the back foot here. They are going to need to make something happen. They are behind in this moment as we get ready to head to our battlefield once again. Thea Sky Ruins right there in the middle, and you can hear the chant starting as we get ready for our next game. Zeta Division, your purple team. Peru Unite, your orange team. This is game 2 of your grand finals best of 5.
Let's get into it. Rom and Tomato running in the bottom path. Gonna have the advantage here, but we've got a little bit of a cheeky rotation out of Peru. Look, Charcadet not even showing up downstairs because they're split in the central area.
Yeah, Peru nowhere to be found here to fight over this experience. Instead, deciding to get that blue buff and bring it down to the bottom.
Okay.
Your Tempo running up top, picking up a KO right away. Tomy in some trouble right now, going to need to peel away. Skullback and a Nemo looking for the KO with Razor Leaf. They decide to jump in, and they get it!
What a good string of KOs for Peru Unite there. Getting on top of Squirtle early is important, and slowing that thing down is even more so.
And look at the value here of Leafeon. We see game 1, game 2, how impactful this Pokemon is. Able to do a lot at level 4. Charmeleon, on the other hand, not as powerful until it hits its level 7 Charizard, and especially when it hits its level 9 and it has its Unite move.
feeding a lot into Vitopo right now to make sure that they can get there quickly. It's a 3v2 here. Zinus is taking out and finally evolving to the Armor Rouge, maybe sandbagging it there for a second. And let's see if they jump into the fray here. They're waiting for a Nebo to put the pressure on. The Rock Tomb is out, doesn't trap anybody, and the peel is going. Mega Mewtwo is trying to hang tough, and they do. The knockout on the Nemo is a good one. Zinus is still trying to figure out how they can get to Vitopo, but it's Draken getting the big spread off him as they have to retreat. Zinus is there. Tempo runs for cover, and now Peru has to kind of turtle up around their goal zone.
You have to love that play there from Peru, trying to bait them in so that they could catch them in this Rock Tomb like they just did to Tomato there, but they weren't able to make it happen, and instead they gave up the KO on that Leafeon. That's beautiful for Zeta. They're even closer to their level 7 on Charmeleon, which will give them Charizard.
Peru already showing what their strategy this game is going to be. Trap in the Rock Tomb, get in there with Armor Rouge, finish with Zacian or Leafeon. Zeta Division knows what's up now, and they need to play around it.
Here we go. Charizard has hit Thea Sky Ruins here. 2 more levels until they have that ultra powerful Unite move. Ron just punishing Draken right here. It doesn't look like they're going to make it back to their goal zone. They go down.
That was a tough look. Again, Draken is going to be the facilitator here for Peru, and it's going to make it slightly more difficult for Peru to engage these 3 Pokemon on the side of Zeta Division.
Look how well these 2 teams know each other, recognizing where they are hiding in that tall grass as we have the fight about to break out here. 5 members of Zeta ready to go.
Draken eyeing up a Rock Tomb here. Can they trap anybody? No, they actually pin Tempo back, and now Tempo's caught. Vitopo goes for the burn down on the backside, and Nemo at least sorts out 2. Make it 3 as the War Turtle goes down as well. Vitopo's fading back. Tomato is running caution here. Draken X Scissors doesn't get the clip into the wall, and now Tomato and Vitopo are looking to turn the tide. Regirock is getting worked on. Peru Unite definitely has the presence and pressure. They're on top of Tomato. Big time knockout follow-up. Regirock is going to go to Peru, and they are starting to cruise.
You saw how desperate Peru was to take this fight.
Oh, another good Rock Tomb.
Ticked over to 9. Massive Rock Tomb right here, looking for another KO. They pick one up on Tomy, moving in for 1 hero, and they get another. The points right into this bottom goal zone. They could have a perfect overcap if they can make it happen, but Mewtwo Y moves in.
Can we get a trap here by Draken? A good little Rock Tomb. Follow-up knockout. Tempo gets a Charizard Unite pop and burns down the grass type, and that's well written in the history of Pokemon that's how that typing works. Tempo in deep water. Bliss Assistants tried to follow up, eject button out. Tempo pressure on, they can't quite get frozen by Tomato, who's incredibly low. They finally get the knockout, but Vitopo's still on the chase of Kea. Running covers the rest of the team, and we are now safeguarded out of there.
What a back and forth fight. They were fighting on that goal zone so long that Charizard was able to head to their central area, pick up a little experience, move over to level 9, and come in with that massive Unite move. But Bliss Assistance right back the other way, keeping Zacian around. Now that Char is going to need to look for some wild Pokemon so they can charge their Unite, but Anemo has theirs ready to go.
Boom, Emerald 2-step eject button out to fade that knockout, and a good look. However, we've lost sight of Tomei. Tomei being level 9 as Blastoise is important, as Peru is still trying to score on this base from goal zone, trying to close it out. Rom finally hitting Mega. Using their Unite move doesn't really hit anybody, but Tempo staying in the pocket. Wajiro with the nice follow me. Tempo trying to use their Unite move, and they are, on a sliver of HP.
Unbelievable limit testing there from Peru, and this is what we talked about with their support core in Draken and Kea, right? Able to allow their carry players like Tempo to make plays like that where other teams would not be able to. Tomato right now trying to punish them for this goal zone push.
Draken, Rock Tomb doesn't find anybody. He's going to take the long way around and try to drag Zeta Division's attention. Draken is getting low, gets frozen, caught. X-Scissor into the wall here. Tempo goes right in, tries to pop the Unite move. More rubble rousing. The follow me doesn't see anybody. Taking to the skies and burning down the metal type. Is that Charizard? Draken goes down as well. And now Zeta Division has control downstairs. Bliss Assistance with the deep engage. Emerald 2-step. Suicune Unite back the other way, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. We're spinning to win. Here is Tomei. And Nemo pinned back against the wall. Kea trying to stick in pocket, and it's a Nemo taking over. They're going to get out of dodge, and this is a win for Peru in that exchange.
Unbelievable moment there for Peru as Leafeon dives in for the possible secure with Razor Leaf. The Bliss Assistance finds it, moves through like an absolute wrecking ball.
From a different galaxy.
The objective. Amazing stuff, and that is what you can do with this level of coordination. Leafeon should have its Unite move back online soon, earlier than Charizard if I remember right, and that's going to be great for the next fight from Peru However, if they give Charizard enough time, it's going to have their Unite, which is one of the most powerful in the game.
Oh, another safeguard pickup by Kea, and like I said, this support core is so important for Peru Unite's success. Zynus is now seeing 3 players from Zeta Vision pivot towards them, and they actually have to give up their buff in the central so they don't get knocked out.
Yeah, we have Zeta extremely aggressive here, and we have an Nemo deciding that they are going to break this tier 1 goal, so they're up big, 11 to 185, as Zeta is trying to even up the scoreboard a little bit. Typhoon doesn't make much happen, but Char does.
Snatched up, burned down quickly. We're getting a back cap the other way, and Peru Unite's okay. A Nemo late to the fight, but looking to make an impact here. The Moonlight is up, the Moonlight goes down, Emerald 2-step is back, and we've used the Rebel Rouse at the same time. Can they push away Zeta Division? Can they get a knockout? Tommy's stuck behind the Razor Leaf, and it gets a ton of damage in, but they still pump, spin on top of Draken, and now we're back on the goal zone. Peru Unite is getting smothered and covered out here by Zeta Division. Now the score lead is shrinking, but Peru Unite still ahead as Zynus gets snuffed out.
Zeta Division moving as a full force in this fight, and you have to call out the amazing freezes there from the Suicune on Zeta Division. It's shut them down so many times where you had members of Zeta on a sliver. It gives them enough time for Wajiro to come back in with the Clefable, heal them with that Moonlight. What a fight here, as we have Vitopo almost at level 15. And I have to say, a level 15 Charizard is quite a bit more powerful than a level 15 Leafeon. Both incredible Pokemon, but Leafeon gets more of its value early, Charizard later, and it's later, Doom Snacks. We are 15 seconds until Rayquaza.
Quietly, the Blastoise is level 13. Tommy's going in. We've got 5 seconds till Ray. No, they fade back the engagement, but everybody kind of knows where each other is.
Yeah, they're looking for them right here, as Rob is actually getting very aggressive. Wants to charge up that Mewtwo Unite. They know that they can head
they're trying to set up a trap
with Teleport right here, but they decide to just move right out of this fight. They need to engage. Peru doesn't want to take this fight until they can get Zeta to expend some very important resources in their Unite moves or pick up a massive catch and get an early KO. You can see Blastoise aggressively positioned in the bottom path right there. If they're going to run into anyone, you would love it to be that tanky Pokemon, right? They do not want Wajiro to go down or Vitopo to go down before they get to use their Unite move. Rayquaza being chipped up right now. Ron moving forward, charging up their Mega. They're looking for their opportunity to fight, and they do need to take this fight, Doom Snacks.
Wajiro's positioning, they're chipping in, waiting for this engagement. We're spinning to win, we pump on 3. Dragon has to Rebel Rouse to make sure Rock Tomb, X-Scissor into the wall, does get a stun, and now everybody's split up. The chase is different, Mewtwo Y does a ton of damage. We have the Emerald 2-step coming out by Anemo, and they actually have to retreat, and now everything's settling out for just a moment, but Dragon's left on an island. Are they gonna be able to get this knockout?
And here they go, moving forward right here. Rayquaza being chipped. Tempo looking for it with the Metal Claw going after Vitopo.
Oh, X-Scissor into the wall! That stuns everybody, plus assistance, Hydro Typhoon! 3 players down for Zeta Division! Whoa! The Ice Age is out! But it's not gonna be enough, I don't think, as Peru Unite is on the chase. 4 players down, it's just Tomato. Peru wipes the squad, and they're going to score here. They're not even worried about Ray, and the Mewtwo jumps to the middle.
Wow, I mean, once again, Peru not able to take Rayquaza against Zeta, but it doesn't matter. 106-461. Peru is going to tie this thing up here in game number 2. For the first time ever, by the way, Doom Snacks, in a World Championship Grand Finals, we have got a brawl. These are often won in a 3-0 victory in convincing fashion, and we are tied up, getting ready for game number 3.
Just the prospect of getting a game 4 for us is electric. Well done. These teams are fighting forever. I love it.
Oh, man. Peru, what a turnaround from game 1. Zeta on the back foot, and this has happened to Zeta before. It's a dangerous place for them. They have dominant game 1s, and then they start to get figured out by their opponents here. Peru taking game number 2, putting Zeta in a really tough position. Now Zeta is going to have to react to how Peru wants to play it. I can tell you one Pokemon that seems to be the difference maker in these games, that Leafeon. That early pressure is